Oh.
Welcome to the SFL, boys and girls. Here we are in beautiful sunny California. We have with us another guest today who was with us in Nashville, Mr. Mark Kearns, and of course Commish 2 is with me, and we are going to discuss the events of the weekend, which were quite astonishing, where USC had the worst defeat in their history in the hands of the
Stanford Cardinal.
Thank you.
Stanford Cardinal.
Thank you. I had a little bit of a mind
Fight on. But the only fighting we saw was in the stands, and there was no defense.
No defense. Defense was
missing.
In the toilet, as they would say. Mark, yeah.
All right, keep it going, Steve.
Yeah. So, Mark, first of all, topics of the day, we had very, very eventful day. The first topic would be the USC Trojans. What is going on with that program, Mark? What's your opinion?
In a word, wouldn't you say rebuild? Is
Rebuild.
it a rebuild year?
I thought there was no rebuilding of USC football.
I know the diehard SC fans don't like the word rebuild, but I would think this is total rebuild, especially from here on out.
Right. And so you think that that's what Pete had in his mind when he went with his freshmen?
Probably. Also, apparently this kid has a stronger arm and stuff, but he's got to stop the turnovers.
Yeah.
And only had the defense. I mean, Pete Carroll being a defensive kind of a coach, his defensive coordinator totally did not show up. In the defense, we say, kind of had a little bit of quit in them at the end of the game.
Yeah, we tempered that a little bit, saying that they were dog-tired from being on the field all day, as Stanford ran them up and down the field.
Stanford had one punt. Very first set of downs, they went 3 and out, punted. That was the last time in the day that they had to punt. Tough day for USC football. USC football fans. Beautiful day, however, in Southern California.
Just like today. I just want one last question before we move on to Notre Dame. Do you think that the SC program is on the decline overall, Mike?
We just have a loaded question.
Well, your next question going to be, should Pete be on the,
Is he on the hot seat?
Yeah. No, not at all. This was the first time since Pete was there, and he came in 2001, is that correct?
Yeah.
That they've ever lost 2 games to one team at home? Is that what you were giving me for a stat earlier?
The stat is that the only time they've lost at home has been to Stanford.
Twice
though.
Since 2001.
Right.
Okay. Not a bad record.
Not a bad record.
A tough day, another tough day for another program that we're both all interested in, Notre Dame football. I have my Notre Dame shirt on.
Commish 3, Notre Dame T-shirt.
Yeah. Shirt. This is the old Darius Walker shirt. A tough game. Notre Dame really didn't have a chance in that game. But we, even to the fourth quarter, we thought that they might have a way to pull it out. Didn't you, Commish 2?
Yeah, we were talking in the fourth quarter that there was what we call the road to victory, and it was still paved at that point, and but there were a couple potholes. What do you think, Mark?
First of all, the game. Talk about the game for a second.
Well, what is frustrating about the game is that it appears that the offense can move the ball. They got Brian's favorite player, Golden Tate. They got Michael Floyd, who's already probably pro material.
Yep.
I think
Jimmy Clausen.
I think Clausen is excellent this year.
Yeah,
going to be fine next year. You've got the tight end,
right.
Rudolph. You got some good running backs. I like the freshman running back. So they move the ball during the game. They cannot score touchdowns.
Right.
That's a big problem. I think that's on the coach.
Okay, that bringing us to the coach, a very good segue into the coach, Mark. We know that this has got to be his last year. Don't you feel?
Well, I kind of have a different thought than I had in Nashville because, going 0 for 11 has kind of been a change for me. And so I know how tough it is when you look in the mirror and you say, am I a loser? So look at Charlie.
Yeah.
I kind of identify with him now after the 0 for 11.
Wow.
So I want to be charitable about Charlie.
Wow.
And just hope for the best.
Wow. Wow.
It should be a great game, Stanford Notre Dame.
Yes.
The last Notre Dame game of the season. I would say that if he could win, I bet you if he wins Stanford at Stanford,
He'll keep his job.
might keep his job.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think, Brian? Am I allowed to ask questions?
Yes, you are.
Oh,
Yeah. What do I think?
Open forum here.
I think that first of all that we saw the Cincinnati West Virginia game Friday night, and we thought that was kind of an interview for Brian Kelly, and I have to say that I think he failed the interview. So now we're left with well, who would replace Charlie Weiss if they got rid of him? Now Brian Kelly's still held in high esteem, so I'm just a little half joking there. But then the people talking about John Gruden, or even the current coach at Florida, who is Steve Wahoo.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, Urban Meyer, Brian Kelly, and then John Gruden. Yeah, I personally feel that the Notre Dame program is not going to move to the next level until they replace the coach. I mean, I felt that for many years. I still feel it. In a 7-5 season, if they beat Connecticut, lose to Stanford, I think could be his death knell. Charitable or not, this is, let's face it, it's a big business there. They're losing money year after year. Not going to make a BCS bowl game means a $10 million paycheck they're not going to get. So I think they're going to be history.
Right. What do you think of the Pats?
Steven, are you saying then that Notre Dame, shouldn't be charitable, and at Notre Dame throw charity out the window?
I think when it comes to the football program, I think yeah, you have to forget the charity thing.
Really?
It's kind of like professional football. Let's face it, college sports is a professional situation right now. Notre Dame, I think, I'd love to see Notre Dame get back in the national picture and be meaningful once again. I'm sure you would love to see the same thing. It's not going to happen with charity, Mark.
Speaking of charity, how do you think the Pats are going to do?
Oh, I think
yes,
moving right along. The Pats, I think it's going to be a very, very difficult game tonight. I'm very nervous about this game.
Yeah. Well, I think that all the pundits are picking the Pats. Does that make you more nervous?
Yes, it does.
Mark, what do you think?
Well, I haven't seen any of the pundits, but I think it's going to be a tough game. I think I took the Patsies though.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
And who'd you take, Steven?
I took the Pats as well. And just a quick note, I don't know how much time we have left, but I just want to say that the SFL itself is a very interesting race this year. John and I are different in the Pats. He took the Indianapolis, I took the Pats, and there's one other game that we're different in. And if I can get both of those games, I could be within one game of the leader at this point. I just want to point that out.
Which I think is astounding, because you usually have tailed off, and it's like you took the hit. It's like a boxer in the ring. He took the hit, and he got up off the mat, and now he's back in. I think you're for real. I think you're for real. Do you think he's for real, Mark?
Well, Steven, at this point in the season, maybe we need Dom to help us, but at this point in the season, have you ever been this close to the top?
I don't think so, Mark, but that's something we'll look up in the stats, and I'll probably try to get a review out this week, ladies and gentlemen. Very sorry for not having done more reviews this year. I know Ellen's one a week. I think Mary and
all right, let's wrap it up.
Francine. So just yes, sir.
No, I mean it's we had 30 seconds, and
yeah.
I think it's about time. Hey, greetings from the West Coast, folks.
Beautiful day out here, and I want to thank Sandy and Mark for their fantastic hospitality. Enjoyed every minute of it, and have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.